Okay, it's loaded and we're gonna do a work day. We're gonna be working on this big, giant, beautiful quilt. She's an embroidery quilt. And hopefully she comes out beautiful. Hopefully she comes out beautiful. Okay, see what the embroidery looks like. I still need to unstitch that. But I did this in 3 hoops. Isn't that beautiful? So this is a full embroidery quilt. Very personalized quilt. Beautiful. We're gonna quilt her today. So she's using this beautiful warm and natural on this big beautiful quilt. She also has a embroidery on the back. Let me show you. I embroidered a saying that she wanted here, and I put it on the top corner so I know how to place the quilt. And she says I could do it wherever I wanted. I think it's better than the bottom. This way I know the placement of where the top of the quilt and the batting will be. One of the things I have to concern myself when I work on big giant quilts is that I don't pleat in the back. So the back fabric not having any pleats, pulling it real tight, and it also, the back puddles a bit sometimes. I need to wind about 6 to 7 bobbins. You hear her going. It's hot up here. Well, it's not hot, but I got her going. She's beautiful. Let me show you some of the embroidery. Look how beautiful the embroidery is. Big, beautiful panel. One of the tricks that I've done is that when I have found perfect placement, like I love the way this is spaced, I literally put the needle on one of the design areas, and then when I roll it, I should have my needle. That my needle needs to be in this position when it's rolled up. As you can see, it quilted really pretty. The machine can find placement for you, but it takes time. I'm learned this program so much that I don't want to spend that time, so what I do is I just hit unsew. Here's my section. I roll the needle to where this is where it needs to be, and I know that because my needle's there, when it quilts, it'll quilt perfectly in the right placement. And the reason I do this, it's placement takes a lot of time to find, and if you find it on one row, find a specific point to keep the machine on while I roll it, so I know on the next roll it'll be on perfect placement too. It saves so much time from having the program do it. That's why I do it. This has about 8 rows that it's going to be quilting, and like 10 minutes of finding placement adds a good 80 minutes. That's an hour and 20 minutes. And if I do what I do, I don't have to be doing that constantly, because I know I already found placement the first time, and I just keep rolling it like I just showed. Saves time, you know, time. Saves time, you know, time. I do check throughout the quilt that it is placed okay, so you can see this beautiful placement. I don't know if you can see it. I also want to see this beautiful straight line. I'm going to kind of cat scratch her up a little bit, but then she's puddling to get her straight, so I'm going to iron that. Scratch her down. And sometimes, if you just rub the seam, you can straighten her out. I'm going to work on that. So one of the major things I worry about on quilts this big, it's tension, of course. Always work on tension, focus on it, pay attention to it. But mainly what I freak out about is having no folds on the bottom of the quilt. Alright, I'm gonna roll the quilt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this here because I like the placement. You wanna go outside? It's hot, Mama. Alright, go out there, come on. Release it, roll it, straighten everything out again. Do you see that? Now I have placement again. I'm on the last row, 9 repeats. I started at 4:20. We're 2 hours in. She is not a very densely quilted quilt. It's moderately quilted. My client doesn't like real dense quilting. But look how beautiful. I need to wet that so that it can disappear. I finished her. She's beautiful. Now, it's been like 3 hours since I've been working on her. The quilt is not very densely quilted. It's kind of like I didn't want to over quilt it because of the design that she placed on it. Trimmer at the house. Ugh. She's big and heavy. Look how pretty that is. Am I still recording? This is a sweet little honey quilt. We did this at the Sweet Honeybee. And I'm basting this completely down because it was kind of flappy. And when the quilt, see how it's flappy? I need to baste that down too. You want the quilt just to kind of glide over it. And if it has like open ridges like this, it will do pleats. So I'm gonna baste this area. Everything else is really pretty. It's just, yeah, she just didn't iron it when we were doing the bees. Here you can see I'm removing the base, and you can see that it didn't pleat anywhere because of how I basted it. Look how beautiful it quilted. Still need to remove these base, but you can see, like, because it's basted nice and tight, that when it quilted in these areas, it didn't pleat it.